Hi, I read some books recently and I want to talk about them. So, here is me talking about my recent reads. The most recent book I finished reading, and literally like half an hour before I finished reading this book, that is After Dark by Haruki Murakami. I actually really wanted either Norwegian Word or Kafka on the Shore. I was really rooting for Kafka on the Shore to be my first Murakami, but like after reading about 200 pages I couldn't really move forward, so I thought that okay, maybe I'll just keep that book for now at rest and instead pick up a shorter Murakami, which was After Dark. I don't see the point. Like, this was such a weird book. It takes place throughout this one night, like beginning from I guess 11:45 or something till 7. It just takes place throughout this one night. It was quick paced and the writing was beautiful. Like, it literally felt like I was immersed into the story because of how Murakami wrote this book. Like, it just felt like I was watching a movie. I was directing a movie in a way, and I liked that about this book. But other than that, it felt pointless. We are literally following these few characters over a night. It's literally like just one night of following people doing their stuff, going about their lives throughout this one night, talking to each other, and that's it. It doesn't have a plot, it doesn't have a story, it doesn't even have a point or a conclusion. It literally felt as if I was going through someone's Instagram story without knowing about their introduction or conclusion or middle part. And I just was going through their Instagram stories, Instagram posts about them living a night. That's it. That's all this book felt like to me. If you like this book, please let me know what you like about this book, because I have three other Murakamis on my TBR. Like, I have Kafka on the Shore, I have Norwegian Word, and The City and Its Uncertain Walls. And I would really, really like to read those books and like them, which I did not. Like, this just felt like a waste of time to me. The Ice Palace by Tarjei Vasas or Tarhei Vasas, I'm butchering up the name, sorry. This is a very simple yet atmospheric story about these two girls, Sis and Ann. Ann has moved to the town where Sis lives, this some part of Norway, and she's very alone. Like, she doesn't talk to anyone, she's always standing in a corner alone, she doesn't want to have friends. Something has definitely happened to her to make her like this, to keep her alone like this, yet we do not know what. But she's really attracted to Sis. Sis is attracted to Ann. They both are like these 11-year-old girls who seek the company of each other because they just have this attraction towards each other, and they know that they would be like the bestest of friends. One day, one of them decides to make a move and strike up a friendship, strike up a conversation, and Ann decides to call Sis to her home just to spend time with the other person. She does so, but the next day Ann disappears. She goes to this ice palace and then she disappears, and we follow Sis just trying to make sense of this disappearance, trying to accept this disappearance, yet at the same time not accepting it. It's a very simple yet complicated book to understand, but once you do, it just stays with you forever. In this book, you will find the awkwardness that exists between two people who are really attracted to each other, who want to become friends but cannot do so because there exists this barrier that just is really difficult to break. This book talks about the grief that is present when dealing with a person who has a huge effect on you, who has left their mark on you. You just don't know how to move on from the absence of this person, because the moment that you do start to feel like your life is going back to the way it was, you feel guilty because you do not want to forget about them. But if you do start to move on, you feel like you're cheating on this person, you feel like you're cheating on the memory, but you feel like one day it will come when you will forget this person and you do not want to do so. So that guilt stays with you for enjoying your life, for finally moving on from the absence of this person. It's so beautiful. There are so many things in this book that I just cannot express, I cannot talk about without giving the whole book away. So do read this, and if you do not understand it when you first read, do go through it again, read the reviews, read everything about that you can find about this book on the internet, because this was my second time reading this. The first time I read it, I actually did not understand understand this book at all. I just loved how atmospheric and simple this book was. But the second time I read it after reading all of the reviews and discussions discussions and thoughts of other people that I could find on the internet and read it. And after that, I picked up this book and just fell in love with it. So, do give this book a fair chance before you make your own thoughts about it. Next, I finished rereading the whole series of Harry Potter, the whole 7 books. I'm so glad I did that because I really, really wanted to reread all of these books after watching the movies like 2 years back. I really wanted to get back to the Wizarding World, and I finally did. I'm just really happy because the books hold such culture that the movies just do not, and I'm really excited about the TV adaptation, which is why I decided to reread the whole series, and I'm just really glad I did because I loved every single moment that I spent at Hogwarts. Like, I just adored every single moment of it. It's just so nostalgic, and also the characters, the effect that it has on you, the magic, it just feels so cultural and so much very different from the movies that you just have to read it in order to get the whole experience of the Wizarding World. Next, I read The Burnings by Himanjali Shankar. I actually liked the beginning of this book. I liked the gothic vibes that I got from this book. It was also very readable. Yet I did not like where the story went from the middle of the book. Just it did not make any sense to me, and also it just did not have a conclusion. I don't know, I just did not find the conclusion in this book at all there or satisfying or anything. In this book, we follow 3 women whose life coincide at some point of time in the book, and throughout this book, there are these burnings happening throughout the world, like fires taking place suddenly in the middle of the road, and whoever is watching those fires just feels compelled to walk into it and kill themselves. It's a very weird book, but yeah, it's kind of like coronavirus, but instead of the COVID situation, fires are happening, and this is really dangerous. The whole country is like put on lockdown, and we follow these characters who feel like they have some connection with the burnings, and I just never understood what the burnings stood for, what meaning they had, why it was connected to our main characters at all. Like, that was a different thing happening in the world, and the things happening with our main characters was a different story altogether. They just did not connect with each other at all. And then our main character, I was so infuriated at her because the things that she was thinking and going through in this book, like, she had a boyfriend, yet she went back to her ex-boyfriend because she just cannot let him go. And then his ex-boyfriend is in love with his neighbor, who also, spoiler alert, who also turned out to be his half sister. So there is some incest going on with her ex-boyfriend's life, and it got so weird till a point. Like, I literally thought that it could actually turn out to be a really good Hindi movie if someone were to adapt this book into a movie. But after this first half, I did not care about the burnings that were happening in the world in this book. I just wanted to burn this book because it does not make sense at all. Like, I don't get what the point of the story was at all. The Lamb by Lucy Rose. It was a really difficult book to get through, even though it had like really short chapters. It features cannibalism really heavily. Like, you get descriptions of food, people as food described to you. Every single finger is described to you. It is disgusting, but it's not disgusting at the same time because we are reading from the point of view of this 10-year-old girl called Margot, because she thinks that this is really normal, this food is really normal, everything that they do to acquire this food is really normal, which is why we also get a sense that, whatever is put in front of her as food is just normal. At least that's how I felt. In this book, we follow Margot, who lives in this mountainous region with her mother in this little cottage, and people go to this mountain to hike or trekking and stuff, and they get lost in this mountainous region, and they somehow end up in this cottage with her mother, and she just invites them to her house to turn them into food, and really descriptive food. And we follow Margot just thinking that this life is really normal for her, until one day Eden comes to her life, and yeah, she just takes up the space that Margot has in her mother's life because her mother keeps feeling like there is something really missing in her life. She thinks that by eating people, by indulging in cannibalism, she can just satiate the hunger within her, but that is just not happening at all. And then Eden comes, and some part of the hunger is satiated, but she still feels hungry because, in this book, when they are consuming people, they think that they are making the people a part of themselves. So some part of their lives is being satiated, but not enough, at least not for her mother, not enough, because she just doesn't want to be a mother at all. She hates her child. She feels like her child, Margot, has taken something from her. And we follow the story from the point of view of Margot, who just feels so lonely in her life because all she wants is her mother's love, her mother's validation. Like, she wants validation from her mother, she wants appreciation from her mother. She just wants to feel how a daughter feels with her mother. She wants the motherly love, which she's not getting. And this is something that Margot hungers for, the admiration from her mother. Her mother hungers for her youth, a time when Margot didn't live. Eden hungers for her mother. And while reading the story, the loneliness just seeps into you. You can feel Margot's loneliness. You can feel her need to do anything, even isolate herself from other people just so that her mother will be happy, because her mother restricts her from making friends. But the loneliness in Margot just feels so haunting. Like, all she ever needed was a friend. All she ever needed was for someone to be with her, to love her. She just doesn't have that kind of person, and it's a very, very devastating sort of book. And once you finally understand why the book is called The Lamb, it just gets more devastating. But I loved this book a lot. It is like one of the best books I have ever read, and it truly instills the fact that just some people just don't deserve to become parents, because you're not only like ruining your own life, but you're also ruining your children's life. So if you're not ready to become a parent, then just don't do so. The last book is Seize the Day by Saul Bellow. We follow this one main character who has lost everything in his life, who doesn't have anything in his life because of his own stupidity, and we follow him throughout the course of this one day where he has like invested in some shares and is waiting for the results, like waiting to get back the results. And we just read about what happened in the past, what kind of problems he faced, why he is in the situation that he is. We read about his own stupidity, coming into terms with his own stupidity, with the mistakes that he has committed in his life. And I will tell you that the book is not only extremely easy to read, but it has so many quotable moments. Yet I felt like the second half just did not do justice to the book. The story did not do justice to the book. The prose was so beautiful. I was highlighting quotes left, right, and center because I loved the conversations that were taking place in this book. Yet I feel like the ending just does not make sense to me, because throughout the book I was kind of rooting for the main character. I was hoping that after all of this devastation, there will come a point where the main character's life will turn around, and then the book just ended. It's not even about not getting a conclusion, it's just that the book ended abruptly. I was just rooting for the main character, and then the book comes to an end, and it just felt so disappointing because I would say I liked like 90% of the book. Just the last 10% felt so rushed and fast, and yeah, disappointing, because I would have preferred a much better ending. Even though I like sad endings, I like incomplete endings, this book just felt like it needed a better ending than the book gave, which is why I did not like it. Also, I finally bought The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. I have been wanting this book for a really long time now, and finally I was able to buy it, so I'm just really happy. And look how beautiful this is. Like, the cover is just gorgeous, and I'm really excited to read this. So yeah, these were all the books that I read recently, and there were a few favorites, a few disappointments, because even though I am all up for DNFing a book, I just was so hooked on to the book that I couldn't find a moment to DNF it, but they were like complete wastes of time. So yeah, these were all the books I read recently, and I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.